Welcome back to Let's Play Quantum Break. I'm BurningDogFace, and I've just now realized I never looked at the quantum ripples in the last episode, although I did notice both of them in the live-action episode. And here... Hot tip leads to silent outrage? Cause. An unidentified online source places Jack Joyce in a catering van somewhere in Riverport. Catering service employees arrested by Monarch all over Riverport. All the mimes at Riverport Street Performer Convention arrested by Monarch. A clown performing at a child's birthday party arrested by Monarch. Do you like the why note there? You think these ripples are significant? That's the thing, you can't tell. I mean, one thing leads to another. It's a chain reaction of cause and effect. But, there's a chain reaction of cause and effect, fine. We have this information. We can see the patterns they make, but it doesn't really make any difference. Well, I don't know if that's true. It's like, you flip a coin, it's heads or tails, but there's no stakes to it. It just doesn't lead to anything. Yeah, well, tell that to the mimes. I feel like that's a comment on how none of the quantum ripples actually change anything in the overall course of the story. You know, you still go back in time to 2010, Beth still gets shot in the face, rest in peace, and you still break into Monarch in the end to steal the CFR. Oh no, the other one would have been this one. I remember now. Yes. A moment of frustration leads to a career in politics. A power outage at the industrial area transformer yard, July 4th, 2010. Paul the Punch Palmer quits his job as an electrician, goes into politics. Palmer's rival candidate, District Attorney Billings, killed in a freak accident involving faulty wiring in 2012. Paul the Punch Palmer runs for mayor in 2016. Wait, what? This was back in 2010. I was going to vote for that guy. Yeah, I managed to trace the ripples. Crazy, huh? Crazy, huh? You can still vote for him. Yeah, but it's not the same anymore. That makes no sense. Nothing has changed. He's as good or bad a candidate as he ever was. It's just not the same. Ah, good, I do get to save that.
Only one of Serene's treatments survived the explosion. His time was running out.
So was everybody else's.
October 9th, 2016, 4:19 p.m. From Sophia Amaral to Paul Serene, Time Machine Corps. Let's start at the bottom. Oh, Christ. Okay, start with this one. Yeah, Time Machine Corps, October 7th, a couple days before the end of the world. Paul, we now have finished the plan. Fuck me. Paul, we now have finalized the plans for acquiring and transporting the Time Machine Core from the University Lab. Your instructions are quite clear. We won't actually move in until your younger self has entered the machine, and the men will try to take the Joyces alive, with the understanding that Jack Joyce in particular could be a threat, and neither could be allowed to escape under any circumstances. I'm still quite uncomfortable with all this, Paul. I understand your reasoning, and I know the stakes are high, but I don't want to see anybody hurt. It's antithetical to my role as a scientist, and I wish you'd reconsider. Surely there's a better way to resolve this. Moral implications aside, the loss of Dr. Joyce's expertise alone would be a great blow. If everything goes smoothly and quietly, we will transport the core directly to the Monarch Tower via ground route. If there's commotion and it seems there's any risk of detections, we'll instead airlift the core to our dry docks operation, and then move it discreetly from there to the HQ. The construction of the new time machine frame at the top of the Monarch Tower has been finished since last year. Once we've received the core, it will be installed into the time machine per your orders. I know you don't intend to use it, but even with the limitations the nature of time travel imposes on us, I have to say it seems like a great waste to not take advantage of such a resource, both from a strategic and a scientific point of view. Dr. Sophia Amaral, Head of Research. Don't wait to get started, says my lozenge. Sophia Amaral, October 8th, 2:29 p.m. Sophia, I understand why you would feel that way, but this isn't something I take lightly. It's my experience that time travel only complicates things, and while my own trip through time has given us great opportunities, it's also set me on this path. I want to control it, not use it. That said, I want to have the machine ready to use for emergencies. My foreknowledge of future events will end very soon, and it might prove to be useful to have the option of obtaining more detailed information for the future. Obviously, given that the furthest you could go back is the machine's activation at the university, visiting the past seems fairly useless. Also ensure that the machine is heavily guarded at all times. Nobody is allowed to operate the machine besides myself, and I want the corridor to remain undeployed unless I give specific orders to the contrary. As for the Joyce brothers, I intend to give William the option of joining us, if possible, but I know him. He's a very stubborn and unstable man, and I don't know if we could ever trust him. I don't need to remind you that he built in that ridiculous little workshop with very limited resources a device that broke the local physics at Ground Zero and caused my Chronon syndrome. So yeah, I was right about that. So I probably have Chronon syndrome too. I don't intend to give him a chance to show us what else he could do if he decides that we're a target. That along with the visions I have seen. There are certain sentimental reasons that make me wish I could let William live, but I doubt that he makes it possible for us. As for Jack, I'm not too worried about him. It took me a long time to master my abilities, so Jack shouldn't be a major problem unless he manages to use stutters to escape the area. Luckily, stutters should be very rare in these early stages of the fracture. Ha! Still, I've come too far to take any chances. I prefer to take him alive, but nothing can be allowed to put our plan at risk. I'm sorry to have to involve you in something like this. I know it's not what you signed up for, and as I said, I don't expect you to be personally involved with that part of the operation in any way. I'm not particularly happy about this part myself, and I wish I had better options, but our circumstances are as they are, and I have come too far to falter now. I hope you understand. To Paul from Sophia, October 8th, 3:43 p.m. Paul, yes, of course, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to add to your burden, and I know that these are hard decisions. You can count on us to proceed as planned. I know you're exceptionally busy now that the time is almost upon us, but I was hoping you'd have time for dinner. Dr. Sophia Amaral, Head of Research. To 11 p.m. Oh, October 9th to 11 p.m. Sophia, please update me on our progress of the Time Machine core relocation. Where are we with this? Guess he never responded about dinner. Thank you. And October 9th, 4:19 p.m. Paul, don't worry about it, we're on schedule. I don't even remember his question. Progress on the Time Machine core relocation. Paul, don't worry about it, we're on schedule. Your Time Machine core from the university has been transported to the HQ, and it's currently being installed into the new Time Machine frame we've built for it. You'll have direct access to it from the CFR chamber as requested. And no, before you ask, you can't actually access the CFR chamber from the Time Machine. That elevator can only be activated from within the chamber, so no one working on the machine can get to the CFR. I thought you'd appreciate that layer of added security. I know how important it is to keep the CFR safe. Anyway, I know you don't actually intend to use the time machine, but should you ever need it, all we need to do is deploy the corridor. It's actually all hooked up now. But we're still running some final diagnostics. The text should be ready with it well before the gala is over. I don't know where I thought well was. Dr. Sophia Amaral, Head of Research. Oh, it's Adventures in Flesh by L. Hakala.
Paul spent a long time running Monarch in secret. It probably didn't help with that whole disconnected from reality thing.
Reflections on the End. Serene's Surface. Oh! I think it's a Surface tablet. Funny. Never noticed those labels before. Reflections on the end. I wish my memories of the end of time were clearer, but it was anything but a clear time in my life, and the world was such a jumble, a frozen mess of different timelines crashing together. Maybe we get to meet dinosaurs after all. I was running for my life the whole time, trying to avoid the shifters, not an ideal state of mind for gathering intel. And it didn't help that she kept chasing me, trying to kill me. Beth Wilder, one of my own people. It was her all along. Even then, trapped in the end of time, as little as I understood about what was going on, I could tell she wasn't like me, that she didn't have the powers I did. I knew she had some kind of technology that kept her going in that suspended hell. Of course, I had no idea it was a device I would eventually have my people develop. I suppose I should appreciate the irony that it was her chronon harness, my own chronon harness, that gave me the idea for the lifeboat protocol. The idea that our technology could let humanity survive to the end of time. Suppose I have to thank her for that. And she paid for her sins in the end, but she left her mark on me. I know the time to pay for mine is approaching quickly, but not just yet. Back then, when Wilder and I played our game of cat and mouse at the end of time, if I'd had an ounce of the control over my powers that I do now, things would have turned out very differently between the two of us. She was strong and had the training, and I was young and weak and scared. Even so, my abilities gave me an edge. I was lucky she didn't have the full striker gear. She was the one with the upper hand. I didn't learn to properly control my abilities until much later. In those days, they were unpredictable and operated on instinct. Control didn't come easy. I can't help but be aware that this doesn't seem to be the case for Jack. His mastery is growing by leaps and bounds. Is it just because that's the way he's always been? Fast on his feet, bold and adaptive? Or is the fracture affecting him, too? I thought we could contain him. It's cost us dearly. It's not a mistake I'll make again. Oh, for fuck's sake. I can't even step up there with A. Wait. Oh! Oh! Okay. Thought I missed one. I guess it must have just been one of those things where it's like, I found them out of order. One more. From Sophia Amaral to Paul Serene, Quantum Ripple Research Unit. And for some reason, Martin Hatch's face appears there too. Fine. I guess it's just a fuck up. September 30th, 2016, 38:11 p.m. From Sophia Amaral to Paul Serene and Martin Hatch. Paul, Martin. I know you've both been arguing that the Quantum Ripple Causality Research Subdivision has great potential and we should keep it funded. I must once again implore you to reconsider. I'll be the first one to admit that the technology is impressive. The fact that Doctors Morphin and Rangers can actually track the consequences rippling out... can actually track the consequences rippling out from minor shifts within the Mayor Joyce field is incredible, and the level of informational detail they managed to obtain is amazing. But here's the thing. They've been at this for 2 years now, and they have not produced a single useful result. Yes, we can trace actual events from their small inception point or the actual consequences, very much in keeping with the basic chaos theory of the butterfly flapping its wings, but, well, so what? Every single thing that happens in this universe is a result of such a chain of events. Being able to see the chain offers no real insight to anything due to the very randomness of the process. Furthermore, it's utterly misleading. You could say that some tiny event or tiny decision in my life yesterday led me to writing this email, and that's technically true. But so did some tiny event or tiny decision in my life 15 years ago. It's all a chain. The event yesterday didn't take place in a vacuum, it didn't come out of nowhere. So what's the point? We have no control over it, we don't get to direct it, and we get no useful information out of it. Also, have you actually seen the reports they generate? From a technological point of view, the way they manage to automate their analysis of the fluctuation signatures within the Mayor Joyce field is impressive. But again, it's all meaningless babble with no practical applications. Their personal remarks on the reports are even worse. With all due respect to Ron and Terry and their indisputable technical expertise, I don't know what they're doing, and I'm not sure they do either. It's like they're coming up with stuff at random. The above outlines my concerns as to the futility of the entire process, and I suspect that may not be enough to sway you, but I have one final point which I think you should consider very, very carefully. The entire program is an unforgivable waste of Monarch resources. I don't mean money, although the entire quantum ripple causality research subdivision is costing us millions and millions of dollars. That doesn't really matter, because I know we can afford that. However, there's a more vital resource that they're consuming. Each time they fire up their rig and delve into the Mayor Joyce field, they eat up a huge amount of chronon particles. Those are a finite resource, and as you know, we are projecting the Ground Zero's yield will rapidly diminish as the fracture takes hold, which will happen very soon. You may not understand what the real impact of this is, so let me put it to you in practical terms. Every single time they detect and analyze a quantum ripple, it costs us a week of potential lifeboat runtime, minimum. Given Monarch's primary purpose and the total lack of useful results, I believe that's a luxury we cannot afford. I recommend shutting them down immediately, or at the latest during our next reorg. We can allocate their resources to something useful, and put Ron and Terry's expertise into great use designing the lifeboat. I'm sure we wouldn't regret putting them to work on that, given their track record of working with Chronon Tech. Sophia Amaral, Head of Research. They spelled Terry differently here and here. Also, they spell Morphin. Let me see here. I'll just look at any of them, I guess. Oh no, it was that one. Yeah, they got the names wrong too. It's on this screen. It's Morphin actually spelled the way that Mighty Morphin Power Rangers spelled it, and just Ranger singular, as opposed to Morphin with an F and Rangers. I'm trying to remember which one was before this one. Where they addressed each other by name. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Terry with an I. Odd. Dr. R. Morphin finds himself aroused by what he hears. Well done. Hey, congrats on the book sales, Lenny.
Paul told me that he tried to change things. It failed. What he'd seen, it broke him. And I'd seen Beth go down the same path, but Paul, it consumed him.
That's a really neat effect. "17
years, he lived through twice. All of it mapped out, from memory.
He knew the market trends before they occurred. He had the tools to make a fortune, and he did.
Am I crazy? Was there a sequence at the beginning of the game where Paul mentions having a photographic memory? That's the only thing I could think of that would explain this. He's got specific dates on the .com bubble. On, where was it? "5 years in, stay strong, one path." The earthquake in Iran. I could not have told you that. I didn't even remember that was a thing until just now. I'll be honest, I still don't remember that was a thing. Right here somewhere. The exact date of the Snowden leak. Final chance to remove Snowden link. Huh. Ah, yeah, here we go. The Curiosity rover landed on Mars on August 6, 2012. I could not have told you that. Or the date they found the Higgs boson. I actually do remember the power blackout in India. I wonder if they marked out the one in North America here. No. No, they did not. Wait. No, the timer. I wonder if he was a voyeur. I don't like these noises. It didn't make these crunching noises in any of the other stutters. Alright, one more and we'll call it.
Paul was a powerful man, the leader of an empire. But behind the veil, he was a dying man. The signs were clear.
I'm BurningDogFace, and I'll see you in the next episode of Let's Play Quantum Break. When we, try and get our hands on the countermeasure. So we can save the goddamn world. Later!